Section 1 of Poems by Caroline and Alice Duer. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Nemo. Poems by Caroline and Alice Duer. An international episode by Caroline Duer. An international episode, March 15th, 1889. We were ordered to Samoa from the coast of Panama, and for 2 long months we sailed the unequal sea, till we made the horseshoe harbor with its curving coral bar, smelt the good green smell of grass and shrub and tree. We had barely room for swinging with the tide. There were many of us crowded in the bay. 3 Germans and the English ship beside our 3, and from the Trenton, where she lay, through the sunset calms and after, we could hear the shrill, sweet laughter of the children's voices on the shore at play. We all knew a storm was coming, but dear God, no man could dream of the furious hell horrors of that day. Through the roar of winds and waters we could hear wild voices scream, see the rocking mast reel by us through the spray. In the gale we drove and drifted helplessly, with our rudder gone, our engine fires drowned, and none might hope another hour to see. For all the air was desperate with the sound of the brave ships rent asunder, of the shrieking souls sucked under, 'neath the waves where many a good man's grave was found. About noon, upon our quarter, from the deeper gloom afar, came the English man of war Calliope. We have lost our anchors, comrades, and, though small the chances are, we must steer for safety in the open sea. Then we climbed aloft to cheer her as she passed through the tempest and the blackness and the foam. Now, God speed you, though the shout should be our last, through the channel where the maddened breakers comb, through the wild sea's hill and hollow, on the path we cannot follow, to your women and your children and your home. Oh, remember it, good brothers. We 2 people speak one tongue, and your native land was mother to our land. But the head, perhaps, is hasty when the nation's heart is young, and we prate of things we do not understand. But the day when we stood face to face with death, upon whose face few men may look and tell, as long as you could hear or we had breath, 400 voices cheered you out of hell. By the will of that stern chorus, by the mother land which bore us, judge if we do not love each other well. End of poem. A Song by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. A Song. Dearest dear, if thou wouldst measure what to me is measureless, half the pain or half the pleasure of my love's great tenderness, I will touch my heartstrings for thee, since to thee it doth belong, and the echo shall adore thee in a song within a song. As the sun is to the flowers, as the stars to midnight skies, as the rainbow to the showers, as the light to sightless eyes, as the flame is to the fire, as the breeze is to the sea, as the gain to the desire, so, dear heart, art thou to me. End of poem This recording is in the public domain. A Portrait by Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. A Portrait. A man more kindly in his careless way than many who profess a higher creed, whose fickle love might change from day to day, and yet be faithful to a friend in need, whose manners covered through life's outs and ins, like charity, a multitude of sins. A man of honor, too, as such things go, discreet and secret, qualities of use, selfish, but not self-conscious, generous, slow to anger, but most ready in excuse. His wit and cleverness consisted not so much in what he said as what he got. His principles one might not quite commend, and they were much too simple to mistake. Never to turn his back upon a friend, never to lie but for a woman's sake, to take the sweets that came within his way, and pay the price if there were price to pay. Idle, good-looking, negatively wise, lazy in action, plausible in speech, favor he found in many women's eyes, and valued most that which was hard to reach. Few are both true and tender, and he grew, in time, a little tenderer than true. Knowing much evil, half regretting good, as we regret a childish impulse, lost. Wearied with knowledge best not understood, bored with the disenchantment that it cost. But, in conclusion, with no failings hid, a gentleman, no matter what he did. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Serenade by Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. A Serenade. Heard you the rustle and sweep of the rushes? That was my boat at the mouth of the creek. Heard you my step through the solemn night hushes? Knew you the words that my spirit would speak? Saw you a light where the skies kissed the billow? That was love's star rising over the sea. Wake, then, beloved, and turn from your pillow, loving and longing and dreaming of me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. How Can One Tell by Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. How can one tell? Who would believe that under sunny skies, a month ago, when summer kissed the land, we read sweet stories in each other's eyes, and laughed and loved, and would not understand that Time, who changes all things as he flies, bids us change too, in order to be wise? Who would believe? Well, being wise, we part without regret, frank with ourselves and fickle with our times. But, though we part, we need not quite forget, in winter prose, the ring of summer rhymes. Fate cannot change the fact that once we met. We may remember that, at least, and yet be not unwise. How can one tell which way one's heart will yearn, back to the old or forward to the new? When one is young, one has so much to learn, and life is long, and all the tales are true. And peradventure, we may both return to warm our hands where once we feared to burn. How can one tell? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Sonnet by Alice Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. A Sonnet. Dear, if you love me, hold me most your friend, chosen from out of the many who would bear your gladness gladly, heavily your care, who best can sympathize, best comprehend, where others fail, who, breathless to the end, follows your tale of joy or of despair. Hold me your counselor, because I dare to lift my hand to guide you, that I lend my love to help you. And I would you knew that I am fair enough to win men's hearts, if so I willed. Yet honor me above all other women, since I am too true to trap you with my sex's smaller arts. Deem me all these, but love me as your love. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Midsummer Night's Dream by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. A Midsummer Night's Dream. When the summer moon in her midnight madness breaks through the clouds that would veil the night, and the earth and air are full filled of gladness, and the heart of man of a vague delight. When the wild sea breeze to the land comes sobbing, and the wild sea waves clap their hands and sing, then wake, mad hearts, to your passionate throbbing, for this is the hour when love is king. Sing too, O ye stars in the arch of heaven, the silence of night doth madden the brain, and the crash of waves is too low and too even, like some sad sweet chord struck again and again. Riot, O wind, in the meadow's green tresses, ripple the pools with a rush of your wing. Wake the white land with your wanton caresses, for this is the hour when love is king. Wilt thou come through mist and cloudland of dreaming, spirit I love on the wings of sleep, through the night's dark space, through the moon's white beaming, as the spark floats down from the meteor's sweep? For we are apart, but our soul's desire, like fire to fire, shall leap and cling, and the flame of thought, by the wind fanned higher, burns through the hour when love is king. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. To Leeward by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. To leeward. Let the boat drift, my lady and my love, thou in the stern, I lying at thy feet. Bend down the eyes my heart was dreaming of, before God put it in my breast to beat. Look, where the river opens to the sea, twilight is stealing onward, lingeringly, between the world and our felicity. Sing to me, dear, my soul was buried deep through all our time of parting and of pain. Sing, and the fires of youth and life shall leap from my wild heart into my veins again. Rise, evening breeze, and drive the boat on fast. Fall, evening mist, and hide us from the past. We take our fate into our hands at last. Close in the girdle of my arms entwined, rest on my lips the softness of thy cheek. If fate were sightless, must we too be blind, and let our happiness slip by us? Speak! Over the restless sea and quiet land, silence and darkness creep up, hand in hand. Answer again! I dare not understand. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. An Exhortation to Gentleness Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. An exhortation to gentleness. You who are strong and do not know the need that weaker spirits feel, but do not plead, the need to lean on someone who is strong. Oh, see you give their silent want good heed. Be not so busy with your own career, however noble, that you cannot hear the sighs of those who look to you for help, for this is purchasing success too dear. Many strong men and good I see, so bent upon their own soul's high development that they have only scorn or tolerance to give to those who are not thus intent. Yet who can answer that it is not true that those weak souls who spare where blame is due, and smile because too gentle to be stern, are not more needed in the world than you? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Lines for the Skull at the Feast by Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. Lines for the Skull at the Feast. Drink and forget the reason. Man's life is but a season, and pleasure's lips are breathless ere youth is past its prime. The rose-red love shall linger till care has touched its finger, but only death is deathless along the road of time. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Image of the Earthy by Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. The Image of the Earthy. Sleep, tired eyes. Your tender flame is fled, as on dim hills the watchfires had burnt low. You who have speculated, wondered, read, viewed the hereafter with a passionate dread, when next those white lids open, you will know. Sleep, weary brain. Life is a stormy sky, and we like restless birds tossed to and fro, imperfect atoms of the eternal why, circling and drifting onward aimlessly, not knowing whence we come, nor where we go. Sleep, wayward heart. If love were sinful, dear, knowing its price, would we not pay the whole, and count the winning of a life's love here, the wild reality of hearts brought near, well worth the losing of a phantom soul? Sleep without fear. Death turns all wrong to right. I wonder, shall we meet, dear, when I die? Those who believe in heaven say good night, but I, in losing all my blind soul's light, standing in hopeless darkness, say goodbye. Goodbye, dear heart. Repentance comes too late. But if there be a heaven beyond the sky, and you should chance to find the golden gate, by all our happy past, I pray you wait, lest my lost, lonely spirit pass it by. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Count Me Not Less by Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. Count me not less. Count me not less thy friend, because my heart, blinded a moment by the light of youth, leaped toward thee ere it took thine estimate, and knew no leap might carry it so high as where thy heart beats lonely. Count me not the less thy friend, in that I love thee, dear. End a poem. This recording is in the public domain. An Apology by Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. An Apology. Some wayward tide in memory's sea has borne my thoughts back to the turning when fate first taught to you, through me, a lesson hardly worth the learning. Showed you that changeful looks could prove fit emblem of the heart they cover. Showed you, alas, the more we love, the less the loved is worth the lover. And though the story now is old, your loyalty would still forbid you to show me that your thoughts could hold one token of the wrong I did you. And yet, my dear, within your heart some faint resentment must have tarried. Though fate had used a worthless dart, the wound was none the easier carried. Forgive me, many days there are since then. Do those a whole life leaven? And you and I have drifted far, though not, perhaps, much nearer heaven. Forgive me, dearest, not because years certain suffering have brought me, not for the sake of what I was, but for the sake of what you thought me. End a poem. This recording is in the public domain. Overheard in a Conservatory by Alice Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo and Eva Davis. Overheard in a Conservatory. Dear, are you angry?
Yes, though not at you, but at myself. Of course we know it's true that when a man respects a girl...
I thought you'd say that. It's the nonsense girls are taught. You know, as well as I do, I revere you more than any other woman, dear.
You'd not have done it to Elfrida Hood.
Immortal gods! I shouldn't think I would.
If this but seems to you fit food for jest, I say no more. Silence were plainly best.
Dear, if I jest, it is because I read the hopelessness of aught that I could plead. In your stern eyes, which righteous wrath betray. Were you another woman, I should say that you were fair, and I, it seems, was mad. But that the last long waltz that we had had might very well have turned a wiser head. 100 things like this I might have said to women who would take them as excuse. You think none possible, so what's the use?
Then why discuss it further? Let us go.
1 minute. I should like you first to know I did not think that this would be the end, when, 2 weeks since, you said you'd be my friend.
Only 2 weeks.
Not long, 'tis true, and yet you've stopped my doing much I should regret. Nor should I murmur that you teach how far more hard than others all good women are.
That is not true. Indeed, it is not true. Some men I could forgive this, but not you. You would go home and smile and think I meant. I viewed it merely as a
Precedent. Was that the word? Indeed, in this respect, you wrong, to say the least, my intellect. If you forgave me, I should understand just what it meant.
Oh, please, let go my hand. Here's Papa, who comes, I know, to say that it is late, and time to go away.
I do not care a bit how late it is. I only know we cannot part like this. Show me, at least, you do not doubt my sorrow.
Well, come as usual, at 5 tomorrow.
End a poem. This recording is in the public domain. To a Photograph by Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. To a Photograph. Your stern young face looks out tonight from most incongruous of places. My toilet table's rose and white half hidden by its frills and laces, set with no gold nor precious stone, but thrust into my mirror's moulding, that the same scroll that frames my own should have yours, too, within its holding. Absurd that I consult your eyes, half in excuse, half in defiance, lest some of my frivolities should break our fanciful alliance. Absurd indeed that I should care for your boy scorn or disapproval, when the same hand that placed you there has but to rise for your removal. Yet if I took you from your place, each night my weary eyes would miss you. And so, dear, stay. Perhaps your face will look less stern each time I kiss you. End a poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Yellow Age by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. The Yellow Age. This is the age of grasping hearts and hands, of hurrying feet and greedy, watchful eyes turned to the worship of the golden calf, sneering down other idols with a laugh, throwing down other prizes for this prize, bowing before the priest who understands its mysteries best in this and other lands. These are the glittering days of gilded show, of brazen tongues, of envy jaundice-eyed, and covetous of all that gold controls. This is the age of brains instead of souls, the yellow age where purses measure pride. Even the flame of love, blown to and fro by jealous winds, burns with a saffron glow. Look well, O world, before time turns the page, the gaudy pageant passes through your street. The envious apes rage in your marketplace, science and art are breathless in the race, for fortune, where for fame they did compete. The yellow fever of the yellow age has spread from slave to king, from fool to sage. End a poem. This recording is in the public domain. From the German by Alice Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. From the German. Once for thy brow a wreath I wished to wind, and, seeking long, I could no flowers find. Now golden flowers are blooming far and near. But ah, dear love, thou art no longer here. End a poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Broken Wheel by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. The Broken Wheel. Patience, poor heart. Tonight thou shalt have rest. Rest that I buy thee at the price of life. Let those with strength and courage stand the test. Here will I end the strife. Time's haggard eyes hold many tears like me, not worth God's smile in life, much less his frown. If, by its weight of wretchedness set free, one heavy tear drop down. Call you it sin, O seekers after truth? Sin, that I enter at death's open door? So be it. I was worthless from my youth. What matters one sin more? But if my faults were great, my hopes were few, who can do battle with a breaking heart? I have deserted from the ranks, and you will take no rebel's part. I have made way for other fools to prate, for other eyes to seek for what is not, for other hearts to fight against their fate, while youth's wild blood is hot. I but return to God life's borrowed spark. Doubtless there's a God in Israel. My eyes are tired, and death's halls are dark. May I sleep long and well. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. After a Year by Alice Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. After a year. Yes, you have guessed it. Do not blame me, dear. Indeed, I did not dream, O tender eyes, when first we met, that in a little year my words would dim you with pain's dumb surprise. Do not reproach me, for I suffer too, an agony of shame and self-contempt, and know that I shall miss, far more than you, the lost illusions of this dream we've dreamt. Why did you ever learn to love me, child, if you had let me only be your friend? Instead of weeping, had you only smiled, coldly, I might have worshipped to the end. Worthless and aimless, what I was you knew, by all the wretched past to you confessed. The one good in me was my love of you, and that has proved as fickle as the rest. Ah, dear, the worst wrong in this world of shame, the hardest question to explain is why women like you, who barely know sin's name, can be so wounded by such men as I. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Passing Fancy by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. A Passing Fancy. I came from my box at the play last night, as a face in the crowd flashed past. Time was when those eyes were my eyes' best light, and my heart at that name beat fast. And yet, when we met in the hurrying stream, I sighed not as much of a sigh, as if it had been but the part of a dream I had dreamed in the days gone by. Though we die with our hand in the hand we love, we may wake to its touch estranged. If the love that we loved so indifferent prove, may not love we loved now be changed? And our souls in some heaven may pass and sigh, half ashamed of the life they knew. Ah, how fond beat the heart of what once was I, for the sake of what once was you. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. To the Night Breeze by Alice Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. To the Night Breeze. Breeze of the night, across my pillow straying, breeze of the night, of summer dews begot, salt from the seashore, where the waves are playing, slow, to and fro, my window curtains swaying, cool my flushed cheeks, by recent sleep left hot. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Dialogue by Alice Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo and Eva Davis. A Dialogue. I am in trouble. Give me your advice.
No, for I'm sure 'twould not be carried out.
It shall, I swear it shall, at any price.
If that's agreed, what is this all about?
How can I win a woman who is fair and cold?
Be colder.
But she's proud as well.
Be prouder.
But she does not seem to care, nor notice when I'm near.
How can you tell whether she does or not, until you've tried not being near? Avoid her, Let her see the change, and should chance place you at her side, be colder, prouder, civiller than she.
But if she cares,
Then it will break her heart, which will be easier won.
'tis too severe on me, I could not.
Then you'd better part.
Is this your counsel? Well, good-bye, my dear.
Stay, there's just one thing to do before you go.
What?
If you really love her, tell her so. Perhaps you'll find her kinder than you know.
End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Vignette by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. A Vignette. Cupid, playing blind man's bluff, seized my Psyche's floating tresses. Here is silken clue enough to dispense with any guesses. This is Psyche's golden fleece. She's my prisoner, past release. But the lookers-on declare love was caught in Psyche's hair. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Good Night by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. Good night. Dearest, good night. The darkness spreads her wings over the restlessness of human things, and stills awhile the tumult of the day. We were together not 2 hours ago, playing our parts before the world's great show, saying the words set down for us to say. Yet are we nearer now than we have been, though the long streets lie silently between, though all the world should stretch between us two. Think of me, dearest, not as I was then. That was a worldly woman among men. This is a lonely woman who loves you. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Song by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. A Song. If I were only a ray of the sun, how I would steal through your lattice at morn, touch all the things you had touched one by one, sparkle and dance on the gems you had worn, trembling and hoping to see in the glass trace of my light in your face as you pass. If I were only a breeze of the night, how I would sigh of my love and despair, kiss your soft cheek or your lips if I might, chase the white moonbeams that lie in your hair, hushing the nightingale, for while he sings, you might be deaf to my whispering wings. If I were only a wave of the sea, born like a sigh from the breast of the deep, knowing the end of my journey to be death, when life's gift were most worthy to keep. Yet would I laugh while my broken heart beat. Death were life's crown, if I died at your feet. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Kingdom of the Present by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. The Kingdom of the Present. Live for today, that sows and shall not reap. Live for today, that reaps and has not sown. Raise to thy lips the cup of life, drink deep. Bordered and bounded by the sea of sleep, the kingdom of the present is thine own. Through yesterday, perhaps, sad echoes rise from shadowy past. Hold, then, today more dear. Rest and content thee in its sunny skies, and to the future look with passionless eyes that are below all hope, above all fear. Today I reign a queen and thou a king, tomorrow food for worms, but now no worse because time slips us off his golden ring, because tomorrow death may break the string that binds the unit to the universe. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. From Phyllis by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. From Phyllis. Dearest, I read the books you sent, because you sent them, but they're far too grave for me. I like not serious stories, nor wise saws, chilling my youth with fear of ills to be. But be not angry, since at your request I read them all, and found the love tale best. Yet that was sad, too, and one sentence there tried and tormented me. That's why I write. You've read the book. Do you remember where the hero was made prisoner in the fight? The heroine, to save her lover's life, renounced him and became his rival's wife. And he reproached her. Were I in your place, my life without you had been little worth. I'd live, she said, through pain and through disgrace, to know you lived, though dead to me on earth. Dearest, this troubled me, because, you see, I'd rather die than have you dead to me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. How Like a Woman by Alice Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. How Like a Woman. I wanted you to come today, or so I told you in my letter. And yet, if you had stayed away, I should have liked you so much better. I should have sipped my tea unseen, and thrilled at every doorbell's pealing, and thought how nice I could have been, had you evinced a little feeling. I should have guessed you drinking tea with someone whom you loved to madness. I should have thought you cold to me, and revelled in a depth of sadness. But no, you came without delay. I could not feel myself neglected. You said the things you always say, in ways not wholly unexpected. If you had let me wait in vain, we should, in my imagination, have held what we did not attain, a most dramatic conversation. Had you not come, I should have known at least a vague anticipation, instead of which, I grieve to own, you did not give me one sensation. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Drinking Song by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. A Drinking Song. Drink from the flowing measure. Health to the god of the golden wine. Taste of the cup of pleasure freely, while youth is thine. Thy weary brain from the dry champagne a merrier mood should borrow. The wise are sad, but the fools are gay, and the rose that we plucked but yesterday will be faded and dead by tomorrow. Drink, for the hours are flying. Youth is fleeting, but age is slow. Sorrows for which thou art sighing melt from thy sight like snow. Thy weary brain from the dry champagne a merrier mood should borrow. The wise are sad, but the fools are gay, and the life that we lived but yesterday is the death that we die tomorrow. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. My Rose of May by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. My Rose of May. The sunlight lingers on the hill. For love of you, my Rose of May, I've lingered here against my will, for that same reason many a day. The sun comes back tomorrow, true, by then I shall be far away. Perhaps he's nothing else to do. I own I have my Rose of May. In old days women ruled the world, and men knew how to wait, they say. But love locks now have come uncurled, and chivalry has passed away. Man has found out he has a will. If too exacting, prove your sway. Why, Jack will find another Jill, less hard to please, my Rose of May. Next time love finds your garden gate, ah, lift the latch, my Rose of May. Don't leave him there to watch and wait. Believe me, dear, it doesn't pay. When chance, like a resistless tide, sweeps opportunities your way, ah, take the goods the gods provide, when they provide them, Rose of May. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Word to the Wise by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. A Word to the Wise. If wisdom's height is only disenchantment, as say the cynics of a certain school, and sages grow more sad in their advancement, then folly is the wisdom of the fool. Since fools know happiness through lack of knowledge, and see things fair because they shut their eyes, then anyone can tell, who's been to college, that wisdom is the folly of the wise. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Snare of the Fowler by Alice Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. The Snare of the Fowler. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps. I write for those, of whom I know a few, young, pretty, and a little bit flirtatious, who would do even more harm if they knew the science of the art of being gracious. Science in any game, we know, will tell, and those who play this ought to play it well. First, do not doubt that rivals please a man, not too successful ones, 'tis understood. They flatter him as nothing you do can, and give him certainty his taste is good. And though at times a little in his way, they make him find the house he haunts more gay. Do not abuse the girls he likes, 'tis far from wise, for he will only think you spiteful. Praise them, and show how ludicrous they are, and 10 to 1 he'll find the joke delightful. From which I draw this never-failing rule: love lives through slander, but not ridicule. Do not appear incredulous of vows, as is the way of self-distrusting youth. A little doubt civility allows, but not too long should you impugn their truth. In short, if you would give true satisfaction, express belief in words, and doubt in action. Should the day come when he is not the same, do not reproach and treat him like a sinner. The fault is yours. Find out the lady's name, and be a friend, and ask them both to dinner. And, I have heard, the game not always ends when two old lovers change to two good friends. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Once I Went by Alice Duer and Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. Once I Went, a parody. Once I went to Long Island City, prepared to take the train for Jamaica, Babylon, Islip, Oakdale, Bayport, Patchogue, Mauritius, and the Hamptons. I had with me all things which could combine to conduce to my comfort. These are the things I never forget. Soon I sought out the parlor car porter, ebon-visaged, gold-capped. O official of the Long Island Railroad, O man, O black brother, the best seat for me, and there take my bag, umbrella, hot water tin, overcoat, and goloshes. That one flew flat-footed. I followed. The crowds observed me. I entered the car and selected someone else's place by the window. Assured of my comfort, shortly the train started. Oh, Hunter's Point! Oh, flat and uninteresting landscape! Oh, Newton Creek! Oh, hell! Oh, smell! Who can describe you, nose-absorbing, resistless? I might have slept, but the newsboy, vociferous, importunate, entered. Here you are, all the latest magazines, Harper's, Scribner's, The Century, Lippincott's, Frank Leslie, The Cosmopolitan, The Ladies' Home Journal, Puck, Judge and Life, Town Topics, just out. I hated that newsboy ardently. The dust blew in my face, a cinder got in my eye, the window shut on my thumb, the train stopped at other stations than mine. But now I know it was all for the best, for had I not these discomforts endured, I should not have written this song, and what would you have done then? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Nocturne by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. Nocturne 1. In the shade of the trees it is night, but out here bright as noon, all the garden lies brilliantly white in the light of the moon, and the rose-laden air breathes delight, and love passes so soon. 2. From across the far fields comes the sound of the sea on the shore, so the love of all time echoes round the wide world o'er and o'er. But our love time is brief, and when found, shall we waste it the more? 3. From the branches I brush as I pass fall the dewdrops like rain, and the wind in the tree sighs, alas, and is silent again. But no faint footstep rustles the grass, and I listen in vain. 4. O my lady, your garden lies fair in the light of the moon. It is midnight, but why should we care? In our hearts is high noon. Life is sweet as the rose-laden air, and love passes so soon. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Wasted Time by Caroline Duer. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo. Wasted time. Now some people there be who would argue with me on the pleasure of working for working's sake, of the joys that you find when you force your mind new mountains to climb and new pathways to take. Now they learn how to cook from a cookery book, they nurse the poor sick or go visiting crime. 7 fads in a day are not too much, for they would do anything rather than waste their time. There are classes, indeed, fit for anyone's need, to play cards, the piano, or sometimes the deuce, to make Browning seem plain, to paint castles in Spain. But if you've no talent, why, what is the use? And if you collect things such as butterflies' wings, and I collect words into versatile rhyme, yet I think on the whole, for the good of my soul, I should rather do nothing than waste my time. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. End of poems by Caroline and Alice Duer.